Now therefore do thou hearken unto us who pray unto thee, and remember us the lowly and condemned, and turn again the captivity of our souls, having thy loving kindness interceding for us. That is such a great example of the style of prayer that I tell you about all the time. I'm not making this up. Look at that. Remember us lowly and condemned, and turn away the captivity of our souls. What's captive about your soul? Tell me how your soul's captive.
Stuck in the flesh and sin.
Stuck in the flesh and sin, right? So like if somebody walked up to you and punched you in the face, what would happen? What do you think you'd do? Forgive him just like that? That's what Ezra would say. I'd punch him in the face. Right? But what would you do? I mean, what would happen in your soul if somebody walked up and punched you in the face? You get mad. I mean, you might not punch him back. You might not push him. You might not cuss at him. But are you going to be completely calm? No. Highly unlikely. Right? Well, but that's perfection, is to be completely calm, no matter what. To not have these terrible passions. But we're captive, right? What happens when there's something that we want and we don't have? We might be angry about it. We might be jealous about it, etc., etc. That somebody has something we don't, or etc., etc. Somebody didn't treat us right. Somebody cut us off in traffic. How many times in a day? It'd be nice if we had a clicker. Oh yeah, I just acted stupid then, stupid then, stupid then, stupid then. I think you'd get a callus on your thumb, right? Because you'd break it, yeah. You'd get up to 99999 and turn over. And then you'd come home and say, look, I only did it 5 times.
And it would only be noon.
It would be only be noon. So we are captive, and it's good for us to admit that we're captive. But we have a solution for the captivity, the loving kindness of God interceding for us. I can't get enough of this kind of prayer. I was only a Protestant for a year. It was enough. It was enough. Because it was just, oh, Father God, I thank you. I just want to, and never about anything wrong with me. Nobody ever said what was wrong with them, ever, ever. We always say what's wrong with ourselves, but we also say that the loving kindness of God intercedes for us. To me, that's a very cathartic prayer, because it's honest. It's just, if you lie about things to yourself, you kind of know. You've heard of imposter syndrome, right? I always thought that, being a Protestant was having imposter syndrome. Somehow I'm saved, and therefore there's nothing wrong with me. But there's all kinds of stuff still wrong with me. So I'd rather say there's stuff wrong with me, but it's getting better, rather than pretend that it doesn't, that's not wrong, right? Then it says, accept us who fall down before thee and shout. We have sinned, on thee we were cast from the womb, from our mother's womb thou art our God. What prayer does that remind you of? That you should say every day? Psalm what? 50. Psalm 50, exactly. Sounds like Psalm 50, doesn't it? Right? And also, it says, for I know mine iniquity, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned and done this evil before thee, that thou mightest be justified in thy words, and prevail when thou art judged. For by soul I was conceived in iniquities, and in sins of my mother bare me. That sounds very much like this prayer, doesn't it? How many people have Psalm 50 memorized? How many people are going to memorize Psalm 50? Yeah, better be all the other hands, for sure. And how are you going to memorize Psalm 50?
Pray it every day.
Pray it every day. Pray it every day. Even if you're terrible at memorizing, you'll get it memorized in 2 years. If you pray it every day, right? You can try to memorize it if you want to do that. That'll work too. But you should pray it. And then you just have it memorized, okay? That's very, very important.